Noah Baglin, our new champion of 2025, picking up his first title in Champions of the Future. Well done to Prema, well done to Car Republic. With the contenders, here they are, lining up onto the grid. Thibaut Ramakers, the man to beat on pole position. Christos Kostoya by his side. Kenzo Craig, the championship leader as we speak on the third step. Oliver Kinmark, one of the local heroes by his side. Daniel Kelleher and Lev Kuterhoff on row number 3. Row number 4, JC Phillips and Joe Turney. Watch out from that full British fourth row. Row number 5, Louis Couchet and Fausto Arnando. Zach Drummond and James Ananiostadis following on row number 6. Row number 7, Jaco Mikalev, Scott Marsh, Kara Firan, as well as Marco Gast, Jesus Pezel and Mariano Lopez on row number 9. Row number 10, further back on the grid, we'll see Jacopo Martinese as well as Toby Gale. Row number 11, Peter Stiller as well as Davide Bottaro. Row number 12, Jensen Bennett as well as Leo Nilsson. Jensen Bennett didn't have the best of outcome in his last race, will be willing to climb up the field. 1 minute to go before the flag will wave. Row number 13, we'll see Lewis Francis and Arata Endo. Row number 14, Luna Flusha and Jacob Kamenik, Luc Conde and Victor Gustafsson, a familiar name in the world of KZ on row number 15, 30th on the grid. And at the back end, Boris Leisen on his own with Matthew Higgins not able to take part into this last race of the weekend. Row number 17, Nicolo Coman and Gino Rocchio, Sebastian Pavan and Sebastian Mins. A full Sebastian last row of the grid. 35 drivers are ready to go for war. This is the last final of the weekend, the last race of the year in the Champions of the Future series for their drive classes. Anthony, we can expect better than that to have the 3 championship contenders close on points, close on the grid, and ready for 25 laps of pure madness.
Yeah, certainly so. We are ready for this race, and so are the drivers. As engines fire up, they make their way out for their formation laps, and it looks like everyone does get away. A little bit slow there for Sebastiano Pavan at the back of the grid, but he's all good. There, 21 degrees. Look at this right now. We're in, what were we in, September now? I've lost track. I think so, yeah. September now, 21 degrees here in Sweden. Who'd have thunk it? I certainly didn't. But there we go. It's beautiful conditions that we've got right now, and everyone primed and ready to go for this race. Like we say, really close in that championship fight. Of course, Craigie, 289, Kostoya, 274, Ramakers 253. It's a little bit of work for Ramakers to do, but still, mathematically, if it all happens and all happens out there on track, it is still, I think, possible. But we'll have to wait and see what happens as the mechanics get into their stand ready to watch this one. Race control again, Joanna Falcao and Sam Fisher, Linus down, ready to watch this race. They're going to be taking in a lot of information over the course of this one, because they've got about 40 plus cameras out there to watch. And yeah, if I could just sit down in a room and watch TV all day, I'd love that job, but I do actually do that. I'd sit down in this room and watch a TV all day. So there we go, we're kind of doing the same job, but in very different capacities.
But we're standing up.
Yeah, we're standing up, actually. Yeah, that's very true. But right, that is them, and this is the drivers now on circuit, ready to go for this one. Once again, Marshall's doing a brilliant job this weekend, keeping drivers in check, aiding the drivers as well when they've had those moments out on circuit. We couldn't go racing without that fabulous Orange Army, as the field getting themselves ready to confirm that we are standing up. Here is a live view of the commentary. We didn't suddenly just get up, I swear. We have been standing up the entire time. But Guillaume, we're ready for this one. One final race to round out the season. 3 drivers on that top spot who could take away that title. But we are going to have to wait and see as the field line themselves up for the last race of the 2025 season. It's the Champions of the Future. It's the final, and it's lights out, fights on in Senior. Okay, it's a lightning start for Thibaut Ramakers on the inside line. He'll have the whole shot in towards turn 1. Kenzo Craigie follows suit, but that's Kostoya off the circuit. Kostoya going backwards in the race. The outside line may have been a tricky starting point, but it's gone terribly wrong for the Spaniard. He's well out of the contention order right now, but we'll have to wait and see as the race progresses. That's an outrageous lunge from Jesse Phillips there to get through into 4th place, but he's done so as they all concertina up there. Look at them, 4-5 wide there in the background.
Yeah, certainly not an easy task out there in turn number 7 to just get in line all together, but a good getaway pretty much apart from those 3 drivers, including Christian Costoya. Big first drama of that final round. Inside goes one of the few, this is one of the victory lanes.
Louis Cochet.
Yeah, Louis Cochet, a good overtaking maneuver on the inside of that last turn.
Oh.
Trying to protect his position, but that door is wide open. He's going to lose 3 positions, I'm afraid. Louis Cochet with Zach Drummond, JC Phillips and Jacob Micallef all making their way past. The battle keeps on raging. One of the fusions out there, Zach Drummond, JC Phillips battling along as those 2 now just made their way past the Frenchman. Not so much so for the driver behind, as Jacob Micallef will try his luck around the inside of the Frenchman. We'll get back to that. In the lead, 3 tenths, almost 4, as Cochet keeps on battling. Costoya P15, and look at that coming together.
Here.
One of the DPKs and one of the Tony cars, Scott Marsh and Jedrich Pazel, unfortunately, having a bit of an explanation. Let's keep it quiet and mature, will you? And that's race done and dusted on lap number 2. What a shame for those 2.
Yeah, indeed. That's at the exit of turn number 7, and they're walking back to the marshal post together, thankfully, all nice and civil. But we'll keep a close eye on the top runners here. Ramaker's leading from Craigie, only 3 tenths of a second between those 2, and what does that do in the championship? Well, with Christian Costoya all the way down in 15th place, make it 14th now. Costoya drops to 3rd. Ramaker steps up into 2nd place. You can see the advantage that Kenzo Craigie has got now at this point with the 50 points to his name. But that is an absolutely astonishing performance. Think back to last year as retiring again is the 319. Yep, Toby Gale for the Birilat team out of this race. Ramaker's last year 2nd overall, and really tough fight for him in that one. And he did say to me on the grid, let's not have a repeat of what happened last year. But he's looking at a vice championship again in 2025, but we'll have to see what he can do. There is Christian Costoya. He's just gone through the chicane. He is currently in P14. He has got Peter Stiller right in front of him. He is going to want to gain as many places as he can here. Now, he has got 276 points to his name. As soon as he gets up into that top 15, which he is, every position he gains now is a point that is added to his tally, and closing in to take back 2nd in the standings away. Oh, drama at turn number 7. Yeah. Round goes the Ward Racing driver. Is that a 330 that I'm seeing there? And, a 330, Ward Racing, Edna Arata, I believe, out of the race and facing the wrong way. That is a shame for the driver from Japan. And
now we look back at the top drivers of this final. Here we are. Thibaut Ramaker's Kenzo Craigie split by less than 2 tenths of a second on the way to the number 4. As unfortunately the Ward Racing driver is being put on the sideline. Quite a shame for Edo, the driver from Japan. But look at the gap that those 2 have been able to extend. Almost a full second on Daniel Kelleher, who finds himself in the role of the chaser from P3. Jensen Bennett the fastest in this race, trying to catch up and climb through the field. 7 places gained up to P16 at the moment for the Canadian. But now the battle is on. That's the one we've been expecting. We're missing one contender, Christian Costoya, still all the way down in P11. But those 2 will make do. Kenzo Craigie against Thibaut Ramaker's Prema against VDK. Same chassis, different teams, different interest. Thibaut Ramaker's finished for the past few years 3rd and then 2nd in Champions of the Future. This year might not be his just yet, as he's about to maybe conclude this season as vice champion. Kenzo Craigie, remember last year for his first season in junior in this very series, was P3 overall, and he has a good shot at taking the title, which would make another different driver in the history of the championship picking up that title after the likes of Joe Turney on 2 occasions, but also Alex Powell, Rafael Camara, or Nikita Bedrin. These are the winners in the past in the OK class, and Kenzo Craigie, well, has a strong chance to add his name to his list. Yeah, indeed. This is going to be a fight here. I mean, it won't really affect Craigie's championship if he doesn't overtake here, but he's thinking of one thing only, coming away with a #1 trophy in both the championship and the final, and he certainly could get that one. Kelleher there in 3rd place. Might have to fight away with Zach Drummond. Zach Drummond looking mighty quick here this weekend. He is there in 4th place, closing in on Daniel Kelleher if they start to fight up ahead, which I suspect they probably will.
319 start finish line, I believe, as a mechanical failure.
Oh, so there, that was Toby Gale that we saw retiring earlier on. Possible mechanical failure on board. There, though, is Christian Costoya again on our screens. He is currently in 12th place now, and he has closed the gap up in the championship points as well. He's now on 278 from Ramika's 289. He is only 11 points behind, even like more and more positions that he gains into this top 15. He gains more of those points, so we'll keep a close eye on that one. He is fighting to finish second in the championship. We will have to wait and see. Eyes back on the front, though. Nothing between the top two, but Kelleher seeming like he is closing in on Craigie. Now, this is going to be a tough fight for him, because if he does commit to the move on Craigie, they lose Ramika's. He has to wait for Craigie to go for the move on Ramika's. Unless we get to the last lap, then by all means go for it. But, you know, you've got to find at that point. There is your championship points to the right-hand side of your screen. Some drivers gaining, some drivers dropping down. But, yeah, no, this is going to be a really tense moment now for all three of our top runners. We've seen how close the top fights have been over the course of this weekend, Guillaume. But right now, they stay line astern with no changes just yet as we go on to lap number 9.
They're almost getting near to the midway point of that race, but still no change in the lead. As long as they don't attack each other, they might have a chance to stay in that order, but let's maybe expect some changes coming to the later stages of that race. As for the back, Kazakh Drummond still has 1 full second to try to climb to get close, with Joe Turney on his side. And Ricochet, Mikalev, Firan, Kutoholov dropping all the way down to 9. Martinez climbing 9 places up to P10. Jacopo Martinez suffered some trouble in his qualifying heat, but still the pace is on the Italian side in this one. At least despite not being able to climb as much as he can, he will have himself a very interesting last race here in Kristianstad. As we're here with one of the Ricoh Motorsport, is this happening a little bit further back into the classification?
This is Luna Flusha, Jan Kapanek and Davide Battaro that we are seeing here fighting away in 27th place. I had a good chat with Luna Flusha before her final, well, because she was up outside the stewards. I was been promised to say she was not eating churros and watching the broadcast on the TV. Down the inside, Joe Turney gets that move done on Drummond, steps up into 5th place and is now on the charge through the field. Remember, he qualified 50th overall at the start of the weekend, and he has made those positions up throughout this field. So that is good work from him. Back to the leaders there. Still no change, but it does seem to be just one group of them. The battle for first. 1, 2, 3. Who is going to bite first? That's the question.
Yeah, they all very much driving that those three are giving us in this final. As by picking up another place, Joe Turney is actually putting a bit of a breather in the championship on Daniel Kelleher. Kelleher is in front of him on track, but is in front in the championship, which means that Joe would finish P4 in front of Kelleher, Martinez, Pradi, and Francis. That's for
down the inside! Beautiful overtake!
First bite, there we go. Kenzo Craigie goes first, and the door was open. And Daniel Kelleher was dead to go for the taking. Yeah,
that's beautiful from Kenzo Craigie. Takes the lead of the race on lap number 11. Absolutely superb. Kelleher, though, slots into second. Ramika's down to 3rd. What does that do to the points? Well, that puts Costoya back into P2 in the championship standings. And Costoya is still sitting in 11th place. There it is. Craigie still now with 339 points. He extends that lead in the championship away from Costoya. But again, if he tumbles down or anything happens, it's still not over yet. We have to wait and see. But right now, it is Kenzo Craigie leading the way.
Yeah, what a move that was. We might have expected him to launch an attack a little bit later in this race, but before the midway, decided that he had enough and wanted to be in the lead and maybe build himself a bit of a gap. Let's see if he's going to be able to do so. As all throughout the weekend, Kenzo Craigie has been absolutely impeccable. Jacopo Martinez, the biggest mover in this race, 11 places up to P8 as for now. We've had so many recoveries by a lot of drivers on this layout. You can actually overtake pretty much everywhere on the Azim Ring. That's the beauty of that layout. That came out of the ground back in 1967. One of the oldest karting tracks still used in Europe. As watch out for Daniel Kelleher. He's been there. He's been one of the contenders. He was fifth of the intermediate classification, coming to the final, having picked 1 win, 2 wins, and a second place so far in his qualifying heats. And now, well, he finds himself in the prime position to maybe give a bit of a hard time to Kenzo Craigie, as we said. Whether or not he finishes first or second, this will not change matter when it comes to championship points for Kenzo Craigie. That would affect his points, but not the outcome of the season for the Prema driver. But still, let's see how things will play out. I'm sure that the mechanics might have been talking about this and maybe busy talking about what's the best outcome. But as you said, Anthony, Kenzo Craigie will be certainly willing to leave the championship on a high with the title in the pocket and the last win. As so far in this series, there's been a couple of great winners in the championship. As that would be victory number 2nd. Yeah, he took that win in Rugby. That will make it 2 in a row for Kenzo Craigie. We're not there yet. Christian Costoia had to win to his name this season along with Jacopo Martinez. But he's going to have to resist from Daniel Kelleher. So far in the championship, Daniel Kelleher had picked up his best result a bit earlier this season, finding himself in 2nd place. Kelleher who had stepped on the 2nd step of the podium already back at the round number 3 at the 3rd place in Italy in Viterbo. Can he maybe emulate that performance in Kristianstad? That's entirely possible. He's getting ever closer to Kenzo Craigie, as Thibaut Ramakers still keeping a close watch on the battle in front.
Yeah, certainly so. He's just given himself that nice little buffer now between these two. If they do start tangling with each other or anything like that, he will give himself a nice run up onto the corner, and he doesn't want to get tangled up with them, of course. So he's giving himself a nice little bumper there. Here's a look at some of the stats between these two drivers. You can see the gap there fluctuating constantly. Kenzo Craigie starting this race P3, currently first on a 2-place gain. Daniel Kelleher starting 5th, now currently 2nd with a 3-place gain. So again, really good stuff from these two drivers. But well, Craigie not wanting to lose any more than what he's currently got. He'd like to stay there in the lead. Daniel Kelleher, I'm sure, would like another place to add onto the top of that one. With Kelleher in this position, you know, it stepped him up nicely in the championship as well. That's got him up to 5th place in the points. A win here, I think, would in fact actually put him ahead of Joe Turney as well, who currently sits 4th in the standings. Now, Joe's doing everything he can right now to try and close the gap up, but he's not going to be able to catch Ramakers. He's too far ahead at this moment in time in those points. So we'll keep a close eye on how it progresses with Daniel Kelleher. Gets this overtake done, he will take that spot of P4 in the standings away. Lap number 17, 16 completed. Still Craigie who leads the way by 1/10 of a second from Daniel Kelleher, who continues to breathe down his neck. This is Luna Flusha. Oh dear me, that is definitely a front fairing. That's a significant dent in that nose cone, and that is very unfortunate for her. And eyes back onto the front runners, still no change. While we take this time, while we see what's going on, let's cut back to Christian Costoia, who is still there in 13th place. He's still 2nd in the standings by only 1 point. 278 for Costoia, Ramakers 277. Ramakers, who would stay there 3rd. If Costoia drops down 1 more spot, he will lose 2nd in the championship. It's so tantalizingly close there between those drivers. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. And still, for our front runners as well, the gap remaining 1/10 of a second. It's just happened. Costoia's gone down to 14th, and it's happened. Ramakers goes up to 2nd in the points, 277. Costoia, 276 points. Ramakers is back into P2 in the standings.
And looking over the glass windows of our box, I see that Christian Costoia is getting into more trouble, I'm afraid. And as you can see, it impacts the championship classification. So certainly not the best. P16 for Costoia, who lost 2 other places down in turn number 7. The hard seems to be there no more for the Spanish driver, who's been trying all that he can, but being stuck in the mid-pack, really eating out his tires, not able to pull the recovery he would have liked. Certainly after what happened at the start and cutting across the grass onto the chicane. the worst scenario for Christian Costoia in the battle for the title, leaving Kenzo Craig in the lead. But for how long? There's still the big question on our heads. Daniel Kelleher very close indeed from the Prema driver. Thibaut Ramaker's down in third, still 16 down as on the inside goes. Could that be one of the VDKs?
No, it's one of the ASDs. That is Gino Rocchio, who's on now a 19th place gain through the field. He is siding his way through now into P15, still just behind Francis there in 17th. Costoia's gone down to 18th place now. His second in the championship is slowly driving away from him, and I'm sure he's there reaching out the driver who started on the front row of the grid. It's just not gone his way in this final. That is such a big shame for him. And it's that outside line, you know, when they're going towards turn number one, it's so fast on the inside line. As there's been drama for Louis Cochet. He's tumbling down our order right now. Louis Cochet is dropping out of our screen, and I can see his cart has come to a stop. For Lev Kruslov, but we just don't know. We're getting into the business end of this race now, Guillaume. We've seen that Kelleher and Craigie are line astern right now. We are expecting a move from either one of these two, but when it will happen, Ramaker's now has acquired this position. Joe Turney is just behind them as well. Joe Turney qualified P50 at the start of this weekend. Could be sitting on a podium here with just a couple of laps left to go. Oh, it's all going to fall into place, I'm sure. But for Kenzo Craigie, he is just waiting to see what happens in this final. And down the inside, Kelleher goes for it. There it is, the change for the lead of the race. And through goes Daniel Kelleher. Kenzo Craigie now is going to have to think attack and defend at the same time. And that's a chance maybe for Thibaut Ramaker to give a bit of a hard time to Kenzo Craigie. He's been left too long in the lead, might think the Belgian driver. Now it's my time to shine and trying to switch those positions again. Starting from pole, certainly not the position he wanted to find himself in. As long as those three keep battling, that could be another chance, an open opportunity for Joe Turney to close it in. He's doing slightly that, but always easier said than done.
Race control just now, post 5. You'll see a car parked. The driver is safe. Not very happy, but safe.
And I think post 5, that would be Lev Krusilov, I think that one being referring to. Yeah, very, very interesting situation there. Daniel Kelleher is breaking away here at the front, Guillaume. Kelleher has not taken a win over this weekend, over this season. He has taken podiums over the course of this season. He took one in Viterbo at round 3. I think he took one in Rugby as well, where he stood third on the podium. But now he's looking at a P1 here, but he's still got a couple of laps left in this race as we go on to lap number 24. Oh, Daniel Kelleher, you are just moments away from seeing your first final win of the Champions of the Future in 2025. This could be something for the Irishman. If he can deliver, he's not afraid of a front-running position. He's been champion in previous years gone by, remember, in other categories and disciplines. But let's see what he can do here with this final as they go through into that final sector. The last lap board will be out this time. Kenzo Craigie, I don't think is close enough to do anything. Ramaker's, I don't think is close enough to do anything. And the battle for Costoia in the championship is also not close enough to do anything. Last lap board goes out. 1.2 kilometers remain to crown a champion.
As Christian Costoia, as you can see, still down in 17th place, not able to place part in that chase for the title this time around. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, to be confirmed, that could be the first ever win of Daniel Kelleher in Champions of the Future. First of the season, that's for sure, after 32nd. But what a way to conclude his season. Still being chased by Kenzo Craigie, and Ramaker's closing in on the Prema driver. That might be maybe a little bit unwise to try a move in the last few sectors. But in the end, this will be, once again, a triple Car Republic chassis on the podium in Senior.
Absolutely sublime for Daniel Kelleher. First win of the season. He's done it. But Kenzo Craigie has done the unthinkable. Champion in 2025. Kenzo Craigie is your 2025 Champions of the Future title winner in a superb fashion. He joins the likes in the senior category all the way back to 2020, of course. Joe Turney took this title in 2024. Alex Powell in 23. Turney took it again in 22. Rafael Camara in 2021. And then Nikita Bedrin taking it in 2020 in the senior category. In 2025, Kenzo Craigie adds his name to that list. What a brilliant adventure for the young Briton. The Mercedes-backed driver has done everything he needed to do in 2025, and he has once again delivered. But that doesn't take the win away from Daniel Kelleher. What a drive for the Irishman, for Kart Republic. Daniel Kelleher, his first podium of the 2025 season, possibly his first win, of the 2025 season. He has finished second, he has finished third, but he's not finished in P1, which he does today here at the Awesome Ring in Kristianstad, Sweden. Daniel Kelleher takes the win ahead of Kenzo Craigie and Thibaut Ramakas. Joe Turney from Jacob Mikulev and Jacopo Martinez. James Anignociadis from Zach Drummond. Jesse Phillips from Kenneth Fairhand. Gino Rocchio from Lewis Francis. Jensen Burnett from Verstappen Ardo. Peter Stiller from Oliver Kinmark. Christian Costoya, 17th place.